Okay, hello there guys. Welcome back to another VB.NET tutorial. Um, we are continuing our simplified accounting system videos. So in the last video we created an application login form and we were able to log into our application. We just type admin123 the password and go to the login button and we get to this page, right? So now we are continuing the graphical user interface. So based on our plan in the Excel file, you see here, we should do what? We should create a function for getting list of accounts. Okay, so now let me explain what are we gonna do, what do we want to do in the user interface, and what we need to add in the library project. So in this project, or in this window, we create a number of tabs. A tab will be here to display the list of accounts, and another tab will be used to display the receipts that you add them. So one will display the final result or the current balance for each account, and another one is used to display the receipts, and we will add another one for reporting later on. But for now, let us add a tab page control. Tab control, there you go. So we're gonna select this one and we are gonna place it on the form here. Okay, so what do we have here? Now you can see that if you click inside, the properties will display the property page will display the properties for the tab page itself. If you click inside, if you click on this part here, okay, you can switch between these pages, but the properties will display the the property page will display the properties for the tab page for the tab control itself. Anyway, regardless of that, we are gonna make this equal to the full screen, and actually we could make it dock to simplify things. Okay, now it is docked. Another thing here, you might want to change the back color. I'm not sure if the tab control itself have a back color. Let me see, what do we have here? Okay, it doesn't seem to have one, but the tab page itself should have a back color if I'm not mistaken. And for that, there you go. This is a transparent color, but I will use what? I think we are using this one, right? No, it's a slightly different color, right? It is a slightly different color, so I think it was some bluish, some blue color, something like that. Don't seem to remember which one. I think it was sky blue. No, not this one. Don't seem to remember which one was it. Light blue. Okay. Now I forgot the color name to get back to the accurate one. I will click on the form and I will go here. It's light steel blue. This is the color, light steel blue. So I click back here and the back color will be, search for light steel blue. This is the steel blue, and there should be a light one. Light steel blue. There you go. So this is the first one, and this is the next one. Sorry about that. Where is the back color? Seems like I'm wasting a little bit of time here, but just making the color accurate. Okay, so there should be. Come on. Yeah, maybe I should have copied the color itself. Light blue, light sky blue, light steel blue. There you go. Okay, so now we have these ones, no problem. And for this page, if you click to display its property, I am going to change its title or its text property to accounts. So this tab page will display the accounts for the end user. As for this second tab page, we are going to click inside again, and we will change the text to be, this is going to be receipts. Now, what we want to do, we want to display the list of accounts and their balance in here. We want to display it in this window, and also I want a number of buttons to do some operations like defining an account or editing an account. Now to do that, we are going to place a number of controls. As with the login button, we are going to use a table layout panel, and the table layout panel will make our life much easier. That is because we are going to use this one here. I am going to dock it. Where's the dock button? The property. Now it's docked. Now I am going to you know what, I'll open this one and remove the last column. Okay, so now it has these two parts only. Now the upper part will be used to hold the buttons in a place, and the one will be used to hold the data grid view. And I will do the following. Let me just go here and edit rows and columns. Now the rows, the first row, it will be an absolute. Okay, the height of the row will be absolute, and I will make this about you know, maybe 50 pixel, something like that. And the second one will be percentage, it will be 100%, so no problem there, and I will hit OK. So what that means that when you change the form, as you can see that the second row is changing in size, but the first row is fixed. Okay, and now the first row will occupy the button, so I'll place another table layout, but this table layout will have one row, and it will have a number of columns based on the number of buttons, and I will edit these columns, and they all will have a width of, I don't know, 50 for example. Okay, and I'll hit OK, and also I'll make it dock. Where is that? This is a dock. Okay, so we can add a number of buttons here. Okay, so we can add 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything now is in a place. So we will add a button. Okay, and here this is going to be the first button, and I'll create a copy. This is the second button, a third button, a fourth button. Now these commands will be used to do a few things. Okay, and actually I might want to dock these or use an anchor. Maybe I'll use the anchor. I don't want them to be docked actually. Now if you use the anchor property inside the table layout cell, it will resize the control to fill the whole cell itself, which is very useful. Anyway, so the first button here, I will add the code later on, but this one will be used to add account. Okay, and this one will be used to edit an account. Account. Okay, and the last one will be used to refresh. That's it. As for the fourth button, I will just delete it. That's it. I don't need that. Just add them quickly. Now in the lower part, I will add a data grid view. Data grid view. There you go. This is a data grid view, and I won't enable adding and I won't enable editing. I don't want the user to do anything here at all. It will be just used to display records. Okay, I want total control on what's available or being displayed here. Okay, and in addition to this, I want this to fill the whole view. So this is gonna be, where is the dock property in here? Where is the dock? Ah, there you go. Okay, so now this is the dock property, and if you would like to see what are you gonna get here, let me show you. So this is admin, and this is 1, 2, 3, and we log in. Okay, you get this window. If you maximize the window, you find the buttons have the same size, but this data grid view is now occupying the whole display, so um, this is useful. And if you go to receipts, so we haven't created anything here. But now let us create the code in the library that will be used to fill the user interface here, the data grid view. Now the data grid view needs a data table data structure in order to display the records, okay? And because of that, we will create a function that will return all the accounts in alphabetical order. Okay, so let me go here and let's go to accounts class. There you go. So now, what do we have? We have the load, the insert and load, and now we are going to create a shared function, a static function. We don't have an object here. So we have public shared function get data table. This is going to be db as database manager class followed by error message as string as data table. Very easy code. So we add a try catch. This is going to be straightforward here. So we just add try catch. There you go. Okay, return. Now the function returns nothing instead of true false because this is a data table, which is an object. So if the object is nothing, we know an error happened. And what SQL statement we're gonna execute here? Well, to help me remember things, I will display the data connections here. We'll display the server, and we should see the accounts table and know the fields. Now we are gonna write the SQL statement. So SQL as string equals, this is going to be select account ID and account holder name, followed by account balance, followed by account notes, followed by account version. Okay, from the table which is accounts. Okay, and we want to sort the results, so I'm gonna say order by what? We want to order the result by account holder name, so the database will sort the results and return to us. And we say here dimension dt equals db.fillDataTable, this method we defined earlier, and we don't need the parameter, we just pass the SQL statement, and then we just return dt. Okay, now what we need to do, just add a comment to make things clear. This function is used to return a data table of all the accounts in the database in alphabetical order. Okay, it's very clear, very straightforward, doesn't need anything special. Now, that said, let us go to the next step. So let's save that and see how we can use this one to fill our user interface. Now, let's go back to the GUI project. We want to go to the main window. Now, in the main window, we will need to do something repeatedly, which is filling this data grid view. So we could add the code in this one, in this form itself, or we could create a general code that could work with multiple windows and you pass things and so on. So just to show you, we are going to create a module, and the module is like a class with all its subroutines are shared. I guess you already know that, just in case. So I am gonna go and add here a new item. There you go. And I'm gonna say here a module. Okay, and I'm gonna say GUI module. Okay, so now there's gonna be a public module here, and I'm gonna create some code. Now we are going to create a function that will accept what? It's going to accept a data grid view, and it will fill that data grid view with data and set its column headers. How are we going to do that? We're going to say public function fill DGV with accounts, and there's going to be DGV as data grid view. Okay, and yeah, I might need also a DB object as database. Okay, lib.db.database manager class. Okay, just a note here. Let me share this as Boolean. One sent me a comment asking why I am using the namespace all the time. It's just a habit. You can actually, if you are tired of writing this, you could say imports lib.db, and in this case you could you will find that Visual Studio now recognize the database manager class. You don't have to specify things further because we gave it the namespace. Now it knows when you write a name, it knows it's like it is attaching the namespace in the front of it right away. Okay, so you could use that if you would like to. There is nothing wrong in doing this. Okay, so now we are going to use a try catch. Now if there is any problem, we are gonna just say db.rollback just in case, and also I'm gonna just copy the code here, right? But things will be a little bit, I'll add a few other things. Now other than that, I didn't add error message parameter, right? So there's gonna be virus error msg as string, okay, and I will append the error and return false, indicating that there is a problem with filling the form. In addition to that, I will add something that is very simple but also very important, which is I will add DGV dot data source equals nothing, and when you add this one here, its effect is to clear the data grid view of any data that is there. So if you have an error, you won't see remnant information in the data grid view or something like that. Okay, so now the first thing we are going to do here, we are going to get the data. So we're going to say dimension dt equals accounts class dot get data table, and I'm going to pass db followed by error message, and I will check that this function worked well without an error. So if dt is nothing, then through new exception error message. So if I get an error message, I will pass it here and move the control to this part. Okay, now if I didn't get any error message, this means everything is okay. So I will check the data grid view if it is displaying some data previously. So dimension old dt, or let's say old ps as binding source equals dgv dot data source. Okay, now if old binding source is not nothing, this means that there's something there. So what are we gonna do? I'm gonna say dimension old dt as data table equals old binding source dot data source. Okay, and now old dt dot dispose, we must dispose of the data available there. Also something very important just in case. GUI.data source equals nothing. Okay, there you go. So we dispose of this one, and we are gonna say old dispose. So we are disposing of the data table and the binding source, both of them. If we have any old data that the data grid view is displaying, and this happens when you press refresh multiple times. So there is the loaded accounts and being displayed, and when you press the button, a new the accounts are loaded again, but you need to replace the display. Okay, we will see that later on. Now, if all is fine here, we are gonna say dimension new bs as new binding source, and the new binding source dot data source equals dt, which is the data table we have. And finally, bgv dot data source equals new bs. Okay, so let me explain things here with comments a little bit. Now this function is used to fill the DGV with accounts from its name. This is very clear. Now, what does this part do? Load the accounts into data table. Okay, this is fine. Now, if there are any previous data table being displayed, then destroy them so that no memory leak happens. Now, by the way, when I say displaying previous data table, I will put the data. I'll make a binding source point to the data table, and then the data grid view will point to the binding source. So in that case, if I want to destroy the old data, I need to destroy two things, which is the binding source and the old data table. Does it make sense? Okay, and finally here, show the new data table. And after that, we need to update header columns. Okay, sorry, the column headers. What did I say here? Okay, how do we do that? Well, the account ID is something internal. We don't want anyone to be able to see that. For this reason, I'm going to say dgv.columns of account ID dot visible equal false. As for the column account holder name, this is kind of a very long name, so I'm going to change it to dgv.columns of account holder name dot header text equals account. Okay, this is the text. Now the balance, dgv.columns of account balance header text equals balance. Okay, and something important, something very similar. This is gonna be account, I think it was notes, right? So this is notes, this is gonna be notes, if you have any notes there. As for the version column, we are gonna hide this as well, account version, and this is gonna be visible equals false. So now the account version now is invisible, and since all's working fine, we just returned true, indicating that the display of data is finished. That's it. Now it took us some time to write this code. This is because I'm not using the designer that Microsoft created. I'm doing everything by hand, and I'm used to that because you kind of have more control and understand what's happening internally. This is not the only way. There are many other ways. There is nothing wrong with using the designer. It's just that this is the way I do things. Okay, so now that said, we finished the function that will display the accounts. Now let us go to our window and see how we can perform a refresh. Okay, let us see. So this is the refresh code, and what are we gonna do? We are going to do something like this. Copy. Now I want to exit the application. So first I will open the connection to the database, and now I will fill the user interface. Now if not, fill the GUI with accounts, and I need to pass the database object, need to pass data grid view. So this is going to be data grid view 1 followed by db, okay, followed by error message. Then I'll display a message box indicating that there is an error. Okay, could not load accounts from the database. Okay, and exit subroutine. One last thing we just need before exiting db.close database. Okay, otherwise if all is fine, db.close database, that's it. Okay, this is the code that we need to run. Very straightforward, yeah, and easy. So let us try it out and see how it works. Okay, so now you see the code here in the window is very minimalistic, and it's very easy to understand. Okay, you just open the connection to the database, you fill the data grid view with account, data grid view 1 in this case. I'm going to rename it. Right click here under rename. I will change this to accounts data grid view. Just more meaningful name. And it is what I did here is similar to going to the main window, clicking on the data grid view and going to the name of property and changing things manually. Okay, this V should be capital if you would like to. Okay, very easy. Now let us try this code and see how it goes. So this is going to be admin and the password 123, and we log into the application. We click here and look at that. Now all is fine, and the Smith account is here. Now there is this special account which has the value of -1 or an ID of -1. We don't want this to be displayed to the end user because this is a special account, so we are going to update the code. So what are we going to do here? Let us go to our GUI module, and where is the statement? Okay, we are calling the get data table. Okay, go to definition. Sorry. So in the accounts table, we are using this one. We are just going to add something. So select star from accounts where account ID doesn't equal -1. Okay, very straightforward. And now we are going to run this. We're going to say admin 123 login, and we refresh that. You see now this is Smith, no problem. Now there are a couple of issues here. First, the columns are small. It would be much better if you could stretch them. So for this reason, we are going to change things here. So we click here, and there's a number of properties. So there is auto size, column mode. Let me see, there's full. Okay, this is very important. And there is the something called selection mode. Just a second. Okay, sorry about the interruption. Now continuing. So what was I doing? Yeah, there is a selection mode, and the selection mode there is, where's that selection mode? There's an option called full row select, which will allow you to select a complete row. So you know it will make more sense that way. So this is admin123, and we're gonna perform a login there and refresh that. You can see now, as you can see, we selected the whole row, and if we research things, you can see now everything looks awesome. Okay, now this is all nice and good, but there's another problem. The balance column doesn't display things you know, like it should be. This should be like you know, 2 decimal points. So how do you do that? How do you format it correctly? Now we are gonna go to the GUI module, and after we do this, we'll do this programmatically. So we're gonna say dgv dot columns dot account balance. I think there was something like format. No. Default cell style dot format, something like that. Yeah, equals. Now it was something like n2. This one here specifies the number of decimal places. So let me see now if I remember correctly, and we refresh. Okay, so you see there are 2 decimal 2 digits after the decimal point. Okay, and actually if you want to, if you would like to, you could just say n0. So this will be complete dollars, not cents. It will, your application will not display cents there. I think it will do a rounding if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I'll make it 2 decimal points, and that will be it. So now there is one last thing here, which is when we log in directly to our application here, you don't see the accounts. You have to refresh. But what if you want to? Usually, you want to see the account right away. So all we have to do is to you know, call the full DGV with account as soon as the form loads and you log in successfully. So for this reason, let me go to the load event here, and before closing the database, I'm gonna say initialize the UI. So basically, I'm gonna I could open the connection and do stuff like that, but I could also, you know, just call this one if I would like to. You can do this or that. It's easy, straightforward. But I will just copy this part. This is the important part. So I'll copy it here and paste it here. And now I will run the application again. I'll say admin 123 login, and you see all the information displayed here. Everything's working fine. And yeah, one last thing here. When I want the application or the application window to fill the screen as soon as you log in. So basically, I'll add code here, maximize the form. So me.window state window. There was maximize. I remember there was something like window state. No, sorry. Oh, it's not here. I'm sorry about that. I forget things. So if you click on the form, there's something window state here. You need to set it to maximized. Okay. So now when you run the application, you can see it's maximized. You just add admin 123 and login, and you find the information right away. Okay, so we have something like an application right now. It looks much better than before. We are now capable of displaying the accounts and their balance. So far we have one account. We need to work on adding an account, editing an account. The refresh is there, no problem. I think that's all. That will be all for today. So let me update the progress and see how much work is still there. So we have what? Create a function for getting list of account. We finished that. Create user interface display list of account. Yeah. So we finished these 2 points, and we are about 54% in progress, which is okay, I suppose. Yeah, still quite a bit of work to do, but you know, hopefully you will get a useful application for free and learn a few things. That is all for today. I will upload the source code on the website. If you would like to see the source code, you just need to go there and download it. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye. And we are